Hello everyone, welcome to Compiler Design video series. In our previous video, I have already discussed about parsing theory, unit number 1, in which I have discussed about what is the role of parser, differentiate parse tree and syntax tree, what is ambiguity, what is ambiguous grammar, derivation, leftmost derivation, rightmost derivation, left recursion, algorithm for eliminating left recursion, how to remove left recursion from the given grammar, what is left recursion, next left factoring, what is left factoring, how to eliminate left factoring, algorithm for left factoring elimination. So all these topics are discussed in our previous video. In today's, I will discuss about types of parsing, recursive descent parsing, predictive parsing for LL1 parsing, how to construct LL1 parsing, or how to check whether the given grammar is LL1 or not, and error recovery in predictive parsing. So first is, what is parsing, types of parsing. Parsing or syntactic analysis is the process of analyzing a string of symbols according to the rules for a formal grammar. Parsing is a technique that takes input string and produces output, either a parse tree if string is valid sentence of grammar, or an error message indicating that string is not a valid sentence of given grammar. So there are mainly two types of parsing, top-down parsing and bottom-up parsing. In top-down parsing, parser builds the parse tree from top to bottom, and in bottom-up parser, it starts from bottom to top. It means from leaves to root. There are two different top-down parsing, backtracking, predictive parsing, and bottom-up parsing, shift-reduce parser, operator precedence parser, and LR parsing. There are three different methods in LR parsing: SLR, which is simple LR, CLR, which is canonical LR, and LALR, which is look ahead LR. So first, recursive descent parsing. And a top-down parsing that executes a set of recursive procedure to process the input without backtracking is called recursive descent parser. So there is a procedure for each non-terminal in the grammar. Consider right hand side of any production rule as definition of the procedure. As it reads expected input symbol, it advances input pointer to next position. For example, if E gives T into bracket plus T star, then T gives V into bracket star V star, and V gives ID. Then first procedure underscore E, which is a tree root, variable A and B, which is a pointer to a tree node. Then begin with root. So procedure underscore T into bracket A. While your next symbol is plus, then do next symbol is equal to next source symbol. Then procedure underscore P of P, A is equal to tree build into bracket plus AP. It means it's a reorder. Then first it's a operator, then after operand. So this type of procedure is called. So its advantages are, it is exceptionally simple, and it can be constructed from recognizers simply by doing some extra work. But its disadvantage is it is the time consuming method and difficult to provide good error message. Next is predictive parsing or LL1 parsing. This is a top-down non-recursive parsing. In LL1, the first L indicates that your input is scanned from left to right. Second L represents it uses leftmost derivation for input string, and into bracket 1, it means it uses only one input symbol to predict the parsing process. So into bracket any number is given which represents input symbol for predict the parsing process. So here shows the block diagram of LL1 parser. From predictive parsing program takes the input like A plus B at the end, $sign for end of symbol. In the stack there is input string, at the end it consider $sign, which means end of string. It generates output and stores the result in parsing table M. So steps to construct any LL1 parser. There are 4 basic steps. First one is remove left recursion or left factoring if available in your grammar. Then compute first and follow of non-terminals. Then construct predictive parsing table, and after that parse the input string with the help of parsing table. Consider the following example like E gives E plus T or T. T gives T star F or F. F gives opening bracket E closing bracket or ID. So if any data structure used by LL1 parser, then its input buffer, stack and parsing table. Any parser works like any reads any input string and current input symbol. Then parser insert the parsing table. Then your input string is successfully parsed. So first step, remove the left recursion or factoring. In our given grammar, there is no any left factored. Left factored means A gives alpha beta 1 or alpha beta 2 up to alpha beta 1. It means in the right side production you have multiple products start with same terminal or non-terminal. In this grammar there is no any left factoring. There is any left recursion. Yes, here E gives E plus T or T. Here non-terminal is E and again production is E. So it's a left recursion. Here non-terminal T. Here also T. So it's a non-terminal. Same non-terminal. So first remove left recursion from these two grammars. So after removing the left recursion, your grammar will be E gives T E dash. How to remove left recursion, which we'll already discuss in our previous video using this formula. If A gives A alpha or beta, then after removing the recursion, it becomes A gives beta A dash gives alpha A dash or epsilon. Just compare E gives E plus T or T with A gives A alpha or beta. So your alpha become A, alpha become plus T and beta become T. So E gives T dash, then E dash gives plus T dash or epsilon. Same for T gives T star F or F. Compare with A gives A alpha or beta. Here your alpha is star F and beta F. So T gives Ft dash and T dash gives star Ft dash or epsilon, and F gives opening bracket E closing bracket or ID. In this statement there is no any recursion or factoring, so write down as it is. So after the removing left recursion, your grammar will be E gives T dash, E dash gives plus T dash or epsilon, T gives Ft dash, T dash gives star Ft dash or epsilon, and F gives opening bracket E closing bracket or ID. Now second step, you have to compute first and follow of given grammar's non-terminal. So what is the rule to compute the first and what is the rule to compute the follow? The rules to find first of non-terminal: if A gives epsilon, epsilon symbol write either in this or in this type. If A gives epsilon, then first of A is equal to epsilon. If A gives A, then first of A is equal to A. If A gives y1, y2, y3 up to yn, then first of A is equal to first of y1, y2, y3 up to yn is equal to first of y1. If and only if first of y1 derives epsilon, then first of A is equal to first of y1 minus epsilon union first of y2, y3 up to yn. It means first you have to find first of first non-terminal. First of first non-terminal. In this non-terminal you derives epsilon, then subtract its epsilon and union rest of non-terminal. This process is repeated until you find the epsilon. Next, rules to find follow of non-terminal. First, add $sign to the follow of starting symbol. Next, if A gives alpha, B beta, then follow of B equal to first of beta. If first of beta derives epsilon, then follow of B equal to first of beta minus epsilon union follow of A. If your grammar is in this manner, like A gives alpha B, then follow of B equal to follow of A. So note that there is no any epsilon symbol in your follow. In any non-terminals follow, epsilon never comes, while in first there is no any $sign. So now consider first and follow according to this rule. Your grammar E gives T dash. Find first and follow of given non-terminal. So here non-terminals are E, E dash, T, T dash and F. So first find first and follow of these non-terminals. First find follow of first of E, then first of T dash according to rule number 3. So first of E is equal to first of T dash. So first find first of T. First of T is equal to first of Ft dash. first of ft dash. So first find first of f. First of f is equal to opening bracket and id. First of f is equal to first of opening bracket. It's a one type of terminal. If a gives a, it means any non-terminal produce any terminal. Then first of a equal to a. So first of opening bracket is equal to opening bracket and first of id is equal to id. So first of f is equal to opening bracket and id. Here I can find f from this formula. There is no any epsilon, so don't find t dash first. And this one is come from this formula. So first of e is equal to opening bracket and id. First of t is equal to opening bracket and id. And first of f is equal to opening bracket and id. Next, first of e dash. First of e dash equal to first of plus te dash. Here plus is a one type of terminal. So first of plus equal to plus. And first of epsilon is equal to epsilon. So first of e dash is equal to plus and epsilon. Plus and epsilon. Next, first of t dash. First of t dash is equal to first of star ft dash. First of epsilon. First of star ft dash. So first of star. First of star is a one type of terminal. So first of star is equal to star and first of epsilon equal to epsilon. So first of t dash is equal to star and epsilon. Now compute follow. For follow, first add $sign to the starting symbol. In your grammar, here is a starting symbol. So first add $sign to the starting symbol. Then after check any right hand side production, you find a non-terminal e. Yes, at this place I find e. So compare this grammar to a gives alpha p beta. Here your e is p. So first of beta, it means first of closing bracket. Closing bracket is a one type of non-terminal. So first of closing bracket is equal to closing bracket. So follow of e is equal to $sign and closing bracket. Next compute e dash. Any right hand side product you can find e dash. Yes, at this place e gives te dash. So remember, not a gives alpha p, then follow of p equal to follow of a. So follow of e dash is equal to follow of e. Follow of e is dollar and closing bracket. So follow of e dash is equal to $sign and closing bracket. Next find follow of t. Follow of t. So first find this one. Compare this line to alpha b beta. So first of e dash. What is the first of e dash? It's a plus and epsilon. It derives epsilon. So minus epsilon union follow of e. So follow of t is equal to plus dollar and closing bracket. Here this one is t. So this is your p and e dash is your beta. So first of e dash. First of e dash is plus and epsilon. So follow of t equal to plus, it derives epsilon, so minus epsilon. So remove epsilon and union follow of e. So follow of e is dollar and closing bracket. So first of t is equal to plus dollar and closing bracket. Next, first of t dash. At this place you find t dash, which is the formula like A gives alpha p. So follow of t is equal to follow of t dash. So follow of t is equal to plus dollar and closing sign. So follow of t dash is equal to plus dollar and closing sign. Then find follow of f. At this place you can find f. So this is your p. So find first of beta. Here your beta is t dash. So what is the first of t dash? It's a star and epsilon. So star, then after minus epsilon, then union follow of t. So star and follow of t. So follow of t is plus dollar and closing bracket. So follow of f is equal to star plus dollar and closing bracket. Now compute parsing table according to first and follow. So this is your first and follow of given non-terminal. First of E opening bracket ID, follow of E dollar and closing bracket. So this is your tabular form of first and follow. Now construct the parsing table. So first write non-terminal, then here you can write input symbol. Your non-terminals are E, E dash, T, T dash, F, and your terminals are ID plus star opening bracket, closing bracket, and dollar sign. So first check first entry. What is the first of E? It's a opening bracket and ID. It's a opening bracket and ID. So put in ID and opening bracket production of E, which is E gives TE dash. So in parsing table I can write entry from E to ID and E to opening bracket. Then after check first of E dash, which is plus and epsilon. So first write in plus sign, E dash gives plus TE dash. Whenever you find epsilon in any non-terminals first, at that time check its follow. So here follow of E dash is dollar and closing sign. So in dollar and closing sign, write the entry of epsilon in these two columns. E dash gives epsilon and E dash gives epsilon. If you can find epsilon in any first product, then check its follow product for parsing table entry and write epsilon on that column. Then find T, first of T opening bracket and ID. So write down entry in ID and opening bracket. Then after T dash, here star and epsilon. So write in star, T dash gives star FT dash. First of T dash derives epsilon. So consider its follow, which is plus dollar and closing bracket. So in plus dollar and closing bracket writes its epsilon entry. T dash gives epsilon, T dash gives epsilon, and T dash gives epsilon. Next, find F. F gives opening bracket and ID. So write here ID product from ID column and opening bracket product from opening bracket column. So F gives ID and F gives opening bracket E closing bracket. So this is your predictive parsing table. In predictive parsing table, for any specific row and column there is multiple entries in a table, then this grammar is not LL1. In this example, I cannot found any multiple entry for same column and row. So this grammar is LL1 grammar. But if you can find multiple entries in a predictive parsing table, then that grammar is not a LL1 grammar. Next, step 4, parse the input string. For example, your input string is ID plus ID into ID and dollar. This input string is valid or not for this grammar. Then how to check? First, draw table like stack, input and action. Your input string is written in this ID plus ID into ID, at the end dollar sign, and in the stack dollar sign, then after input symbol E. Now you have a production like E gives T E dash. So here you can write dollar at the starting of the stack. So you can write input is in reverse order like T E dash. So write T E dash. Next, your T gives FT dash. So T is replaced by FT dash. Remaining your field is as it is. Now F gives ID. So F is replaced by ID. Here ID and ID both are matched. So on next stat you have not write this ID. So dollar it is T dash and plus ID into ID dollar. Now these both ID are cancelled because that IDs are matched. Then after there is T dash. According to this input string, you cannot found any plus sign from T dash. So you have any epsilon product from T dash? Yes. So you can use that product. So T dash gives epsilon. So now E dash plus ID star ID dollar. Now from E dash you can find any plus product. Yes, E dash gives plus T E dash. So plus T E dash. Now plus plus. These both are matched. So cancel it. Now E dash T and ID star ID dollar. Now from T to ID you can find any product? No. You have no any direct product. But you have T to F product and F to ID product. So you can use that product. So T gives F T dash. F T dash. And F gives ID. So F gives ID. Here ID ID match. So cancel it. Now E dash T dash star ID dollar. According to T dash, there is any star product? Yes, there is a one product like T dash gives star FT dash. So star FT dash. Here star stars match. So cancel it. Then after F E dash T dash F ID dollar. Now F gives ID. So ID cancel. So next is E dash T dash dollar. Here there is no any input string. So have you any product from T dash to epsilon? Yes, T dash to epsilon. So your stack becomes E dash dollar. Here I can replace T dash gives epsilon. Have you any product from E dash to epsilon? Yes, E dash gives epsilon. So now dollar. So your input string is accepted by this grammar. Now error recovery in predictive parsing. Any panic mode error recovery is based on the idea of skipping symbols on the input symbol until a token in a selected set of synchronizing token appears. So its effectiveness depends on the choice of synchronizing sets. So some heuristics are as follows. Insert synchronized in follow symbol for all terminals. Synchronize indicates resume the parsing. If entry is synchronized, then non-terminal on the top of stack is popped in an attempt to resume parsing. If you can find any synchronized entry from predictive parsing table, then you can pop it and insert synchronize in follow symbol of non-terminals. If we add symbol in first of A to the synchronizing set for non-terminal A, then it may be possible to resume parsing if a symbol in first of A appears in the input. If non-terminal can generate the empty string, then the production deriving the epsilon can be used as a default. If parser looks any entry, for example, in your parsing table M of AA and finds that is blank, then input symbol is skipped. If token on top of the stack does not match any input symbol, then pop it from the stack. For example, in our previous grammar, which is E gives E plus T or T gives T star F or F gives opening bracket E, closing bracket or ID. In that grammar, remove left recursion and factoring. After that, in parsing table, add synchronize token to the follow of that non-terminal. So the follow of E is dollar and closing bracket. So here I can write synchronize in this 2. Then follow of it is dollar and synchronize, but it's not a empty, so no need to write synchronized token. Here follow of T plus dollar and closing bracket. So plus dollar and closing bracket. Write down synchronization entry. For T dash, follow is plus dollar and closing bracket. There is only a epsilon entry is present, so no need to write synchronized token. And then for F, follow is star plus dollar and closing bracket. So plus star dollar and closing bracket, write down synchronized entry. Now if you have any erroneous input like closing bracket ID star ID dollar, this is your input string. Your input is E, which is your starting symbol. So dollar E, this is your input symbol. Now E to closing bracket, you have no any production from E to closing bracket. So first error, then skip closing bracket. So this closing bracket is skipped. Now your string becomes ID star plus ID dollar. Here E to dollar, it's a synchronized token, so you can skip it, pop that symbol. Now E to ID, there is any product, there is no any direct product, but you can reach from E to T, E to F and F to ID. So you can use E to T E dash, then T to F T dash and F to ID. Here ID match. So next T dash star plus ID dollar. Now from T dash to any star product, yes, star F T dash. So here star match. Now your stack will be dollar T dash F and your input is plus ID dollar. So from F to plus, you can find synchronized token. So here is a error from parsing table M to F plus, which is synchronized. So plus has been popped. F has been popped. Now E dash T dash plus ID. There is any product from T dash to plus? No, but T dash gives epsilon. Here E dash plus ID. E dash gives plus T dash. Here plus plus match. So it's a cancel. T from T to ID. No any direct product. But T to F and F to ID, yes. So T gives FT dash and F gives ID. Here ID match. Now E dash T dash. So T dash gives epsilon and E dash gives epsilon. So here in this tag there is $sign and input string. There is $sign. So your string is accepted. So how your erroneous input will be solved in parsing. So this table shows the parsing and error recovery moves made by predictive parser. So in your GTU exam, questions to be asked like to check whether the given grammar is LL1 or not. Parse the string using this grammar. What is error recovery strategies in LL1? Draw block diagram for LL1 parser. So this type of questions to be asked in your GTU exam. Thank you.